All you have to do is close your eyes and listen.
Welcome to episode 17 of TSGG Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Bork. We've got a great show this week. We're talking about Anthem, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Devil May Cry 5, Biomutant, Cyberpunk 2077. But first, head over to tsgg.online and sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's completely free and it comes with a welcome gift for becoming a member. Also follow us on the Twitter at the TSGG and watch our YouTube videos. When you do, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That is The Society, youtube.com/The Society.
There it is.
We would like you to consider going over to patreon.com/TSGG to see the many subscription levels that we offer. For only $1 a month, you will get early access to almost all of the podcasts and videos we offer for free on services like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, YouTube, Spotify, and others. Why wait longer when it's only $1? Now let's meet the panel so we can start the show. This week we've got the brothers Shippy, Brett, and Brennon. Welcome, boys.
That was the worst thing I've ever heard.
That's how
I'm
you're
going
going
to
to
apologize for that.
From
Forever.
now on. All right.
I don't know if that was a play on the Brothers Grimm or what that was, but
It was.
it was
How'd it
very
go?
terrible.
You didn't like
Just god awful.
You gave him an out. It was not that, but now it is that. So
Now it is that.
Yeah, you did. I
now
had
it's
nothing, but now I have that.
Now it's
so
less
Now
terrible.
it's there.
It's total success.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys again.
Likewise.
Oh, man.
Just talking to our
Okay.
fans. Not Kevin. It's always terrible when I see him.
He lies. This is what he looks forward to second most.
Right after Cloud.
Third most. I meant.
Cloud the cat.
Cloud the cat.
He's up there at the top.
He's got to be on the website soon, just so
Put
they
him up
know what
there.
we're talking about.
The mascot. He'll have his own page.
All right. Let's get right into it. What's first for us?
Well, do you guys want to touch on what you guys have been playing, or do you just want to get right into it?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk.
Playing
Yeah,
anything
sure.
new?
I've been
exciting?
playing 60 hours of overtime. How about you, Kevin?
Yeah, about the same, really. So,
Oh, I've been playing Overwatch.
yeah, new season
Yeah,
start.
just started yesterday.
He did terribly, but he
Oh,
placed
no.
in platinum again.
It is
Oh.
horrendous.
That's good. Congrats on that.
I think right now my record since
no.
the start of the season
Their
is like
ranking
7 and
system is
25.
terrible.
You're what?
7 and 25.
7 and
I think, since the
25, he
season
said.
started. It's been real wrong. Real bad.
You're having a rough time.
Real bad.
Can you tell me how he placed platinum? Maybe fix that, Blizzard. Maybe
It's
fix
just
your
based on
trash ranking
where you
system.
ended last season is 100% where
Because
you're
I should have been diamond. With my 3 kills per game McCree.
No.
No,
no.
I'm terrible
I did
at
all
that
of
game.
his placements.
I hate
He's a
it.
liar.
Silver.
So they put me in gold.
I did all of his placements.
And he was a Zarya. And he did super
You
well.
did it for
I
him.
did.
No, I
I
don't.
went
I don't
7-2.
touch the game.
7-2 and a draw.
I honestly haven't touched the game in ages.
It's honestly pretty fun. I
have
People
a
are
love,
bad.
People are bad.
hate relationship with Overwatch. I love the characters. I love the world. I hate that it's multiplayer fighting only.
The problem with it is,
Give me a campaign.
is that
Better yet,
There's
Diablo
just-
4.
you have to rely on team comp and you have to rely on other people that are going to basically follow that.
Yeah.
And it's a communication game, and I play with 2 other friends, which if you've watched any of the YouTube videos of it, you'll see the 2. And we're always the only 3 people that play with mics. So half the team can't, either they can hear you and they can't speak, or they just can't hear you or speak.
Oh,
So
they hear
it's
you.
just-
They just mute your mics because
Yeah,
they're
they
sick of
just-
listening to you
they mute
talk.
It's just so bad. So
I don't know if I necessarily need a full campaign. I like the multiplayer, but it just, to me, it gets like the competitiveness. I'm not at that level. So for everyone that is, this is a great game for them. me personally, sometimes I just want a game where I can just go and farm waves and waves and waves
Right.
of enemies and just enjoy these characters' abilities and not really have to worry about the meta of anything or if I'm playing the
that's what I
character
do. I play
proper.
quick play.
Gears of War. There you are.
Yeah, Gears of
Go
War.
play some Horde mode.
Horde mode.
Horde mode, that's basically what I'm getting at. And Mass Effect 3's multiplayer was mostly like a Horde mode where, the abilities did detonations, combos and such, but it was just very fun to play. And then, like the Infiltrator, you could solo the
Everything.
multiplayer with it. And that was, they didn't want you to, but that was something that was challenging. And it's like, okay, let's see. I can do bronze. I can do silver. Can I do gold? Absolutely not.
And to get the best ending, you needed to do the multiplayer. So
Yeah, that was interesting.
if you had terrible internet like me at that age, well,
Oh, no.
enjoy that solo play.
Yikes. But
Still a little bitter.
they've teased it, and I think that's what upsets me the most, is that they'll come out with these events, and then
Right.
here it is, exactly what I want, and then they take it away. And it's like, here's a week of it.
Yeah, well,
Here's 2 weeks.
the problem is that when people play it, they play it once and they never play it again.
That's his own personal experience speaking.
I play it over and over again. And the stats
it's
of
the
the
same
mode
story, though.
is
It's just
popular.
so-
Yeah, but it's not the story. That's what I guess what I'm getting at. It's not the
He
story
just
of
likes
it.
to kill mobs.
It's just the mode of gameplay. Yeah, you like to kill mobs and you just
See, if
enjoy
they had, like-
doing the
If
abilities.
they had a story mode with it, that would be really cool.
it would
Like,
be.
I know what you're saying. Like, if they just had a story mode where you played, like, through a little bit of a story about maybe, like, 5 or 6 missions about each character and, like, their background, whatever, that would be awesome.
like they
Like with
they
the Blackwatch
did
one,
it with
where you
Blackwatch,
had
and then Uprising was
Right.
first. Actually,
right,
Uprising
where you
was
had the
first.
3 characters, and it was really fun to play with friends. And
They could just do a horde mode. It's not
Yeah.
hard to do.
Yeah, it was-
Spawn enemies, 30 rounds. There you are.
and because the world and everything is beautiful to play in. I love
well, it's Blizzard.
Blizzard's
Blizzard
artwork
does-
is top-notch.
It's insane.
so. Just
They're adding
Overwatch
I'm
2,
nodding.
man.
They're
Overwatch
adding
2.
a
Diva
Diva
wondering.
map. Actually, they just came out with a new Diva map.
I really hope Diablo 4 is released before Overwatch 2. I'll be
Oh,
really upset
it will.
otherwise.
Be.
Well, we know
Overwatch
Diablo
2
4 is
is
already
not
in the works.
in development.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
Diablo 4
Overwatch is still a
is-
live service. They're just coming out with another new map, which
Yeah,
actually
they're-
looks incredible.
They're
They-
not going anywhere.
They flew through it, and it looks insane.
I say Overwatch 2 because that's when I actually think
Expect the
we'll
changes like
get
that to be
that
made.
mode as a main staple, because I don't foresee them just saying, "Oh, we heard you. Now we're adding it to Overwatch," unless they really do Overwatch like they do another game of theirs, World of Warcraft, where they actually introduce expansions that are going to change the game
Right.
forever.
That's like a huge expansion.
Getting
though.
back into it
I don't, and everything they do is
Little bit.
free.
a little bit.
Don't expect to see something like that.
Reabsorbing the soul.
I'd expect it Overwatch 2.
You be careful with that. I
I
don't want to lose you.
will be careful, I promise. Half of my soul is gone.
He'll never be back. This is his last
Do you still have your
podcast.
old account or no?
I have recovered my old account.
Oh,
Level 3,000 with all the legendary items.
2,400 hours.
Actually, no, I'm not max level anymore because I stopped playing
They expanded it, right?
Wrath of the Lich King. So, yeah. Now they go double what my level was.
Oh,
Which, when I go max level now, I can go back to those old raids that I used to have a lot of fun in
mm-hmm.
and solo them because I'm double the level now.
right.
So that's pretty cool because some of those things, like we're talking about World of Warcraft right now, for those of you that don't know, and this is a loot paradise. The older raids still have items, mounts in particular, that like Ice Crown Citadel, which is the Wrath of the Lich King one.
Mm-hmm.
It has a rare mount for beating the Lich King, which I think the percentage of it is 0.8%. So most players still don't have it. So, and you can try to get that once per week, and
Right.
it resets. So that's usually on most players' weekly reset playlist. So there are others too, but that's the type of game World of Warcraft is, which
Right.
more games, modern games, have relied heavily on in their development. So, their latest expansion, Battle for Azeroth, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Battle for Azeroth.
which had
One of the coolest trailers
I've
ever seen in my life.
It released, and day one had 3.5 million, which is what we told you last episode. So it's alive and well and not going anywhere. That cinematic is really cool. I didn't play Legion, which was the expansion before this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to somebody who did, and they had told me that I need to go and watch the cinematic for the final cinematic of Legion. And I'm not going to detail it for you here because it's a major spoiler, but that is the best cinematic in World of Warcraft history. So
I'm going to go watch it after this podcast, then, is what you're saying.
You're going to want to see that. And the effects of that are still in the world. Like, you can see the effects of it. So that's really cool. And that's something that World of Warcraft tends to do. When they change something in the world, it's affected that way, and it changes, it alters the
right,
world.
yeah. For the entirety of the game.
It's something that Bungie misunderstood when they came to expansions, how expansions work. I don't know if that's Bungie's fault or Activision's fault, but somebody over there actively made the decision to call things expansions, and they really are not.
Here's 4 hours of campaign story. It's over.
Yeah, it doesn't alter the world. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't further develop anything. They really just feel like one-off.
Right.
Here's
a new area for 5 minutes. While you
person X.
Thank you for the $25.
Go see that person, play their stuff at where they are, and then we're done with that. Come back here because nothing's changed. That's pretty much how Destiny expansions go, and except for the Taken King, which actually did change everything.
And that's why D1 was
Forsaken.
Good.
Forsaken is supposedly changing everything as well. So
won't know.
Ever.
Well, I'll keep in touch with it and report.
Sounds good. But little segue here. One game that will be updating their map as they go with DLCs through the Shaper Storms. Our first game of the day, Anthem.
Ooh, look at that segue.
I'm learning.
It's better than any years ever, Kevin. I'll tell you that right now.
I was just
take notes on your little notepad there. Just take them.
I'm just gonna write "Holy shit."
New host.
All right. So we at PAX this weekend, we saw a little bit about Anthem. We expected a lot more, because I know that's the first thing you're gonna say. We did expect a lot more. We got a short cinematic. I mean, it was gameplay cinematic, but it wasn't really, they didn't focus on anything like the previous one that we got right after E3. And most of the information actually came out in their blog. Basically, everybody wants to see the Interceptor. They gave us about 4 seconds of
4.5 if you're lucky.
On-screen Interceptor.
If you
where
blinked,
he does
you didn't see the
a
Interceptor
really
this
cool
weekend.
dash into drop kick, so he's basically our martial artist character.
Yeah. Maybe? I don't know.
Who knows? But it was really cool for the 4 seconds he was on the screen. But so this actually, if you've listened to
don't
the
forget the
podcast-
Interceptor also opened that chest.
Oh, no, that was the Storm, actually.
Oh, that was the Storm.
He
Yeah,
just had a fancy helmet
wasn't even
on.
the
He had a
Interceptor.
different helmet on.
White, yikes.
So actually, my hype for Anthem, everybody who's listened or watched the video or whatever, you know that I was hype. This actually kind of dimmed it a little bit until I read through the blog stuff that they released. Basically, I was expecting to see what we had seen after E3, but focusing on Storm and Interceptor instead, where before we saw Colossus and Ranger. That didn't happen. However, the blog stuff, they gave us a ton of information. They gave us...
Okay, before we go into the blog, let's just talk about that
Okay,
cinematic.
the cinematic.
Before we go into that, I just want to talk about Kevin talked about last week, where he said this was following a disturbing trend that a similar Bioware game went through.
Don't call it a similar game. Another Bioware game.
No, it just followed a similar path, is what
There
I'm
you go.
saying.
Yeah, that's better. Don't call it a similar game.
I tried to disagree, but then after PAX, I don't know.
You're coming,
I'm feeling
you're coming
it.
to the side over here.
I want to trust Casey, but
Well, in Casey,
I
I
was
still trust.
wounded deeply by that similar path game, so we'll see.
Well, yes and no. So, yes, they're kind of going down that path, and then they gave us nothing to see. But then they come out with that blog post and give you an entire chart of details, which
Right.
is
And
a
lore.
separation and lore. These are things that didn't happen before.
That's true.
However, if they go dark at any point in time from now until launch, that is the nail in the coffin. And that is exactly what they did with that previous game. They went completely dark.
Yeah.
They canceled the beta, completely went dark.
Well, they just
Unnamed
announced their demo.
horror.
All right, I mentioned the beta because they announced that. That was their
They didn't give us
really
a date,
big news.
but
No,
a
they
Yeah,
beta.
gave
no,
us-
they did.
no,
They
gave
did?
us-
No?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear.
It's
No, they gave us a
February
date for demo.
2nd.
No, that's the demo. But
Oh,
there's
the demo,
betas
yeah,
before
yeah.
that.
But there will be like you
Betas.
said, betas coming out before that. That's
Yeah,
true.
my
They don't
mistake.
have dates for them
And
yet.
yeah,
right.
that one they did not give us a date. But,
Full playable demo, February
10
2nd.
hours.
Which is great because the demo has
Oh.
kind of like gone away, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
you
going to
don't-
give
you
us a
never
taste
see
of the
that
game.
has a
Well,
demo.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
Game demos have just like disappeared. They were
not
great.
Cyberpunks. Just saying.
Anyway,
Yeah, good luck with that.
I apologize.
So anyway, back to the cinematic.
So the cinematic they showed us was honestly it was really cool, and it exactly followed their E3. What they showed us at E3, they gave us like a 5 or 6 minute thing, and then after E3, a couple weeks later, they came out and said, "Oh, here's the whole thing," and gave us a 32-minute video, which I think is exactly what they're going to do with this.
Probably.
They showed us like this was all cut up clips of gameplay, and like you said, there's a chest. That's our first time we've seen a chest in the game, and
Yep.
it was open, and they didn't show us the loot that came out of that.
You
so
didn't-
I'm
you saw the backside of
interesting
it,
in
yeah.
seeing that.
was the helmet?
We saw
I thought
them-
it was the Interceptor helmet. I guess
No, it was a storm, but
Fancy
they
storm
they
helmet.
were showing that
It's
how
fancy
each
stuff.
stuff can have different helmets, and
I liked it.
yeah, he was cool looking, and he had a different paint job than a normal
Yeah.
storm too.
They showed a quick
Um,
cut fighting the giant ape-like creature they
Yep.
showed in the E3 demo that they avoided.
They showed a
Yeah.
special
So
ranger
if
grenade
they
in that
do-
too, which not a lot of people have recognized. It's an electrical grenade.
No, that's
Where
really
before
cool.
he had a frost one, now in this one it's an
Cryo.
electrical.
He had a cryo
Sorry,
grenade.
he had a cryo
Yep.
Yeah,
grenade.
much better.
So I'm not
It's
saying
Bioware.
I'm not saying anything negative about the gameplay,
Right.
Because it
It
looks
was just-
stellar.
It was
man.
just so short.
It really looks good. I'm actually getting, as we get closer to launch, I'm siding more where I don't want to see much more
Mhm.
because I mean I want to see the
Oh, I want to see
Interceptor.
everything.
I know you do, but me personally, like I'd rather explore and experience
Right.
and discover
Right,
for
I know what you're
myself.
saying.
But when it comes to like classes, abilities, I like to know what we're going for out of the gate so that I'm
Right.
prepared in what I want to play as I go and discover
Right.
and explore.
Well,
Well, you start as a ranger.
one of
so,
the
I mean,
coolest,
yeah.
one of the very coolest actually things that you see in the cinematic is you see the Storm's ultimate ability, his
His
Eye of the Storm,
ruin the entire screen ability.
where he just brings down literally a
Can't wait
million
to see
lightning
that in
bolts on
4K.
top of this enemy, and
Oh, it's gonna be
it's
great.
just insane. And that brings us into the lore of the Storm, who when they announced it, or what? So basically, their blog they've released, Anthem has a whole section on EA's website where you can go and it introduces you to the characters, the upgrades, the skills, the javelins, their lore. And the lore on the Storm is actually very cool because the Dominion is basically the enemy. The Dominion is a northern group
Faction.
of humans, faction, that's a good word, who are basically against the freelancers. The Storm was originally designed by the Dominion and created with seals that allow it to control and harness the anthem of creation,
Right.
which is what the entire game is based on. So the Storm, how he works, why he has such abilities, such elemental abilities, is he's basically hit the seals that are on the arms and the actual javelin itself it basically wakes up the latent kinetic abilities of each pilot. And
latent kinetic
makes
abilities.
him. Yep, it's apparently the most difficult javelin to control. It's going to be your hardest play style, but it's also going to be insanely strong and fun to play.
I just want everybody to know this man has nothing in front of him. Everything that you have just heard is out of his brain. This dude is fully in
Yeah,
for Anthem,
and this
which
is not
is
even
great.
my main,
That's just me
so.
just taking a shot at you. buddy. But no, that's great information. And you can tell when you hear this stuff this is BioWare's
Right.
strong suit. The little details and how the depth of everything that's in this world is what makes BioWare so great. And that we're going to be getting that, plus the way that the game plays. This is why it's one of our top releases for the future. Because everything that we are seeing is an example of what BioWare is great at doing. Another feature, back to the cinematic, they did a lot of detailing of the NPCs in this game, and they really showcased them in this cinematic.
Right. Yep.
This is their showcase, because in the other one, in the gameplay ones, you're kind of just going on the mission, and people are talking to you, and then you just go out. But this one is more about Tarsus, Fort Tarsus, and what the world means to you, and what Fort Tarsus means to you, and the people around you, and how you're going to communicate with those people. And I hate to do it because it's yet again another comparison, but it's really the only thing we have on consoles that we can compare to at the moment. And that is, again, Destiny, where when you are in your central hub location and you are communicating with the NPCs, there's no communication.
Right.
You stand around and you just go get the available quests, hit up the vendors that you need to hit up, and then you're out of there. There's no...
And it's all the same for every character. There's
always
no
the same. And there's you never learn until it was the Taken King. You never really learned any of the Vanguard's names because it didn't matter. You went over to them, clicked on them to see what they had in their inventory. It hadn't been changed. You ran away. And it's unfortunate, because in any game you would think when you're developing it, you're creating these characters and giving them huge backstories
immersion
for a reason. Yeah. And then a game like this where they're saying that you're going to have full conversations with these NPCs. Yeah, they're going to be able to do things for you.
Right.
But you're also going to care about them. And they're also going to be talking to each other and living their full day and night cycles. And their lives are going to change based on what's going on in the game. So there's a huge, huge body of depth here.
Yeah, and
systems that are working intertwined. This is, I guess, a quick gameplay demo or sizzle trailer. It doesn't really showcase that. So if I had to critique their packs, I guess that's it. They can't really... I don't know how you go about showcasing this without ruining it for everybody.
Right.
Because they want you to experience that, you know?
well,
On the upside, they did have the A-team on facial animations this time, so you're not talking to a burnt potato. So that's a plus.
No, you're not. Actually,
they also
the
went out
textures
and
and the
got
eyes
triple
look
A
really
good.
they got actors to do the voices who are like big name actors. Haluk, who is one of the ones that they've focused on. He's been in every gameplay. He's the guy that's in your Strider.
Yeah.
The little he's actually done by what's his name?
It's Asher from Spartacus.
Asher from Spartacus, and he
I
was
don't know his
actually on the
actor's name.
panel
He was
just
on
to
the panel.
just to talk and just
He
to
had
go
his
there.
name in front of him, but all I said was, "Oh, there's Asher."
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all I can ever.
Well, so
see
you
him as,
relate him
but-
to, right?
Yeah.
But
100%.
that's a
I think his
big
name was
name
Mike.
actor who is just doing the voices in the game. They're focusing on that. I think that's one of the big things is that they heard and saw what happened with that game that cannot be named, and I think it's good to see that they're doing that.
Oh, it can be named.
And one of people's biggest concerns with a BioWare game is that your choice is always
Spelled Trash.
your choices have always impacted the gameplay, and in this one they won't impact the gameplay so much because it is multiplayer. But Fort Tarsus that's your domain. Things are going to be my Fort Tarsus is going to be completely different from Brennan's and Nick Terabay. That's his name. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
And wasn't there a little cinematic called Their World, Your Story in Fort Tarsus or something like that?
That was Our World, Our Story.
Our World, My Story.
Yeah, something like
because Fort Tarsus Fort Tarsus and the Strider are your domain. Like
That's where your decisions matter.
Nobody's are going to be the same. So,
and we implore you all to check out that video. As yes, it is lacking in gameplay, but it makes up for it everywhere else.
right. And almost undoubtedly, I would say that the gameplay comes in the next 2 weeks. The actual full video of everything going on.
You'll probably get what they're demoing on the floor,
Right.
just like they did with E3, like
Right,
you said.
exactly.
I would refer you to the blog before I refer you to that video personally.
absolutely.
Just because it's way more detail
Anthem
from the
blog.
blog.
Speaking of the blog, let's get into that. What details have come?
Well, they've gone pretty in depth here. So it gives you options. Get to know your crew. That's all of our NPCs. We can find out about the information that they provide, and it goes pretty into depth. It gives you the year they were born, where they were born, how tall they are, how much they weigh, their job, their faction, their favorite quotes. Haluk's is, "The gears of this world are tuned for a quick death. Good thing I carry a wrench." Like, they go in depth about this, and then it tells you Haluk is a legendary freelancer, all around
great quote.
badass, and mentor
Yes.
to younger freelancers. He also drives the Strider. Faye Naveen, it gives her the year she was born, everything. She's a cipher. Her faction is freelancer. Her favorite quote: "The world is filled with mysteries. Chasing the solutions. That's where the fun is."
So you have read through this entire blog, right?
Yeah, I looked through all of this.
Okay. Let me have you direct the people to the blog. Where can they find that?
This is on EA's website, and it's ea.com/games/anthem.
Okay, so anybody that's interested in the blog and wants
It's
to
insane.
read it, go there and
it
read
goes
that.
so into depth.
Well, let's highlight those skills.
Okay, so
Those are part of the blog, right? Or did you get that from somewhere else?
No, that's
Skills.
part of the blog.
That's all part of it, right?
Yeah. So every javelin except for the interceptor has been given. They told us basically the lore on them and the skills for them. Basically, the storm was they're trying to keep them a little bit secret with the storm, but they tell you as I mentioned, they gave you the lore on it, and basically what I like so much about it is that they're making the skills that he has make sense. So his hover and teleportation skills, those are because of his kinetic abilities opened by the seals. So with the storm, he's your spellcaster class basically, but he also his teleportation. They describe it with its incredible command of kinetic abilities. The storm can maneuver in the air, moving through space instantaneously to arrive at a new position nearby, evading its enemies. So,
do we know all the different elements that the storm is capable
No.
of? So they're not coming out with that.
They
stuff.
describe it as energy when they're
so
talking about it.
So
I think they're trying to
saving
hide that a
that
little
stuff,
bit.
yeah.
Yes,
they don't want to reveal their
the
full
Colossus,
hand.
right? The Colossus and the Ranger, however, we've gotten a lot more information on.
Let's talk about the Ranger a little bit.
All right, I was clicked on the Colossus.
Oh,
but
let's
we
talk
can-
about the Colossus a little bit.
The Colossus is basically your tank, but he's your high DPS. He's a beast. Basically, they call it the title of his portion on the blog is Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah, so don't think of this as the traditional RPG/MMO where your tank is the
He
aggro.
holds up a shield.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
not the
Although
person
this thing
that's-
has a shield.
It does have a shield.
say.
That is one of his abilities.
He will be doing. He will be taking. You will want him front and center, but he
Can
is
I
also
ask
going to be
why
doing
we
damage.
made our gatherer and collector our highest DPS? Can I ask why we did that?
We didn't know. See, we were going based off traditional
Terrible
MMO,
choices.
correct.
Terrible
traditional
choices.
MMO characteristics, and we have now discovered that the Colossus does colossal damage.
Correct.
Jake's gonna be looting treasure chests while we all die. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
His,
we're gonna
official.
have
He has two
burning up exosuits.
special
as-
skills. Two special skills that make him. Well, he's also got the shield and the heavy smash, which we saw, where he can basically his melee attack is his body. He swings his body around and uses it. That's his melee. But his two special things are high explosive mortar, where this is his chassis because it's so heavy it allows for the larger weaponry to be mounted and operated, including a ballistic mortar. And then his ultimate, the siege cannon. The siege cannon is pure mayhem unleashed on the battlefield. Just
You
aim
say-
it at something and you want to, what?
Just say mayhem again for me.
Mayhem.
Thank you. Continue.
Just aim it at something you want to disappear, pull the trigger, and watch the magic act. That's how they describe the siege cannon, which they actually
just say that again.
just aim it at something you want to disappear, pull the trigger, and watch the magic act.
Just watch the magic.
And we do
Oh.
see this in the cinematic that they showed us. He's actually flying while firing it, and he's just firing off nukes. And down below him is just there's just monster
He
explosions.
can use his ultimate while flying.
Yes, hovering, not flying. Sorry.
That's the. All right. Well, so not flying. That would have been so cool. But hovering.
Well, some of them can use
But
them.
you can,
I don't know.
you can
We haven't seen
only
it.
fire your weapon when you're hovering, right? You can't.
No, because the ranger we saw flying
some
when he
have
shot at
special-
the Ash Titan.
No, I mean you just can't stand there, right? You got to be on the move. Is that real?
What do
Is
you
that
mean?
True. Like you can't land on the ground and stay there and fire. Like you can't go into like a prone position or anything. You got to be on the move. Is that how it is?
Well, no, you can land on the ground and stay there, but you're not gonna. You're
You
not
don't want to do
going to. Correct. The whole, basically, the whole
We
point
can
of it is
fly.
constant motion, and using the abilities that you have strategically. So
that. What's the term when you go into full flight? Is there a name for that?
they just call it flight.
You just call it flight, but you're not firing weapons when you're in flight, right?
Some of them can. The ranger, I think, is the only one who can use his ultimate while in flight.
Oh,
And that's-
you can actually use the ultimate.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll discuss that one when we get to him. But this is the lore on the
Colossus.
Colossus. Yes. 1 second. We've all been there, faced up against a roiling horde of fanged monstrosities, firing off round after useless round into the ocean of carapaced beasts, getting absolutely nowhere and slowly at that. Well, friends, we don't have to live like that anymore. Meet Anthem's Colossus, a hulking war machine designed to clear out entire hives of vicious predatory fauna with mounted artillery, heavy arms, or even, yes, a flamethrower. It's got reinforced armor plating, it's got jet propulsion, it's got a cannon. I'm pretty sure it's even got a cup holder. In quotations, it doesn't.
Nice.
If you're looking to trample through the wilderness in comfort with heavy artillery strapped to your back, the Colossus is for you. That's what they've got as far as that.
So for you listeners out there that are thinking, okay, maybe I want to be the Colossus, maybe I want to be the Ranger. The good thing about this game is at any moment you are those characters because you get these exosuits, and the exosuits are the classes. And depending on the mission, you may want to play as one of these classes. So going through and upgrading these abilities and such on these exosuits is really what this game is all about.
Right.
So if you are doing something in solo and you want to do what the Colossus, if what he just said about the Colossus appeals to you, then you can go out and play that way.
Right. And that's the coolest thing for me is that not only do the classes and the play styles, you can pick what you want with the play styles, but then the gear that you can add on can change that. So we're going to go into the Ranger next, and the Ranger is going to be the first one that you start the game in. And when they actually describe it, they say all freelancers train on the Ranger first in Anthem, not because it's the easiest, but because it's the most versatile. In the hands of a master pilot, the Ranger can achieve feats of combat prowess that no other javelin can touch. And that alone right there tells you that. So we're starting with this Ranger, who apparently is not the weakest, not the easiest to play, but at the same time is going to be incredibly versatile and is kind of the in-between your Colossus or your Storm or your Interceptor. Because when you look at his skills, he's got the Shock Mace, which is his melee. Basically, it's an electrified mace that sends a medically inadvisable amount of voltage through its enemies.
That's really cool.
He's got grenades. He's actually the only one that is able to use the grenades. Quick to deploy, grenades lay down area damage for effective crowd control at a moment's notice. Modified grenades can be found out in the field, which can be equipped to create different effects, including frost and seeker grenades. We have not seen the seeker grenades yet, but that's going to be incredible.
Do you think they show those, or they hold off?
No, they won't. We saw electric and we saw the cryo grenades. I don't think we'll see anything else.
Just gonna say, it's a good thing we assigned our best as the Ranger. Just putting that out there.
And
Did we, though?
This one is actually the coolest skill I think I've
Yes.
seen. Muster Point. An effective field commander, the Ranger is capable of creating a rally point which provides gear cooldown reduction to teammates who enter its radius.
Is it just gear cooldown? It's not health or anything like that?
No, so health and ammo are all pickups.
Right, I know, they're the orbs, but it
Right.
makes sense.
No, so what this is that you're going to find an area, you're going to group up, probably with your Colossus, and you're going to sit there, and your Colossus is just going to fire off mortars over and over and over and over again.
I feel like if you drop this, your whole team should be in it.
Well,
I mean, this is
your
your getting overwhelmed situation, is what I'm thinking.
It could be,
You
but
just want to...
and then we have his ultimate, multi-target missile battery, a powerful volley of micro missiles. The Ranger's ultimate ability allows it to target dozens of fast-moving enemies with guided projectiles that pummel the opposition with devastating concussive force.
Which we have seen.
We have seen that, but have we talked about how the ultimate abilities system works? Do we know about that?
Yeah, it actually works. You keep bringing up Destiny. It works similar to Destiny. Damage adds up, and once it's full, you can use it.
Are there orbs that drop that up?
No, there's not. Orbs
Up the
based on damage.
The bar.
So if you hit a crit for a lot of damage, which we have the damage numbers, you'll know it'll boost your bar more than a normal shot.
All I want to see is yellow numbers popping up.
Combos,
Crit. No, I thought crits were yellow.
crits, and combos.
Yeah.
Are kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I'm happy to see both of those.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see damage numbers on the screen.
And this is what they've got as
like
far
that.
as which is funny because a lot of games that are coming out now have those. I've just noticed.
Well, we're at there's a line. On one side of the line, we are the players who love damage numbers. On the other side of the line,
People hate
there are the
damage
players
numbers.
that don't want HUDs anymore.
Right, and they think it blocks
They
up
want
the screen.
a cinematic experience. We want damage numbers and every detail we can possibly get.
Correct.
And a lot of games are giving both options now.
Well, yeah,
Right,
They
yeah,
let
both
you
options
remove
does
the
have that
HUD
option.
or keep it in heavier numbers.
And what they've got about the Javelin is with its focus on the Ranger. With its focus on precise damage and versatility, the Ranger Javelin can suit any number of skill levels. Novice pilots will appreciate the wide array of weapons and abilities they can use to sharpen their skills, while experts will gravitate toward the Ranger's emphasis on excellent marksmanship and skill mastery. So whether you're the newest freelancer in your group or the most veteran, the Ranger is the gold standard for combat efficiency. And then it talks about the Colossus and how it's heavy-handed, the lightning-fast interceptor, or if you just want to throw lightning bolts at unsuspecting enemies, suit up with Storm.
So as you can see here, this blog is very fully detailed. And so they had the panel that they did. Was that actor on the panel as well?
Yeah,
Or
he was on the
he
panel.
was up there
He
with
was, yep.
And they did a panel at E3 as well. So they're answering questions, and they continued all the way from E3 through Gamescom and PAX.
Oh, yeah. On Twitter, he's still answering questions.
And they're still going through that stuff. So they're in a position where it's not panic mode. They're out there talking openly about the game. And what that means to me is that everyone seems to be very confident that it's going to hit that release date of February 22nd, which is great news for all of us. So we're not concerned there. The only thing, we just want to see the Interceptor in all of its glory, and we're hoping to see that very soon. Any other thoughts on Anthem before we move on?
No,
Sure, there's plenty of thoughts.
I'm sure he does.
There are
yeah.
plenty of thoughts there, but I'm just excited. I hope that gameplay does come out like we expected it to. Just because it's gonna be so cool. I do want to see them fight that beast. I've wanted to see that since
E3?
it first came out. Well, E3
Since
2 years
before
ago now.
E3, yep.
I've wanted to see that thing that they say, oh, that's a waste of time, but now they are fighting it in one of them, so that's interesting.
Right.
And
yeah,
definitely,
so it's good to go back to it.
yeah, and definitely check out the blog. There is a lot of information in there we didn't go over.
Right.
Just about the NPCs, and there's some stuff in there about progression as well, Javelin progression and pilot progression. So definitely check that out.
Check that out for everyone. Brennan, anything else on Anthem? All right, so that wraps up Anthem, which comes out February 22nd, 2019, in Casey We Trust. Moving on to Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I'm gonna win that bet.
He's not, but it looks really good, so there's
My
that.
goodness. So we got the, looked like similar gameplay as Gamescom. It looked like they were re-showing some of that mixed in with
they showed
some
like
of
the
exploration.
The
and
Medusa hunt with the showed some naval.
They've actually showed us the entire quest leading up to the Medusa hunt as
They
well.
showed the entire,
They showed the
Which is
entire fight.
bold, because
not only that, but
they
they
showed-
showed the reward at the
Right.
end,
Yeah.
which was incredible. I didn't see
so
in Gamescom. I didn't see that, but today watching
Yeah.
that stream, we
I wonder
saw
if it's
that.
random or if it
All right,
like
I
that's
need
a
to-
set.
I need to
specific.
hop into something.
All right,
first
he's
of all.
coming in. He's
All
coming
right, so I was a big fan of Assassin's Creed for a long time. Then, as a lot of players did when, say, Unity dropped and Syndicate. And they were just terrible games, in my opinion.
Not only that, it was Assassin's Creed Overload at that point.
Yes,
we were getting
they were
them
releasing
on
once a year.
consoles, we were getting them handhelds.
Well, they are taking a year off after this one, so
Yeah, and that's
they've
a
already
good
announced
thing.
that.
But Brennan, continue.
Thank you. But so the franchise had hurt me, much like another one, but I'm gonna steer away from that. So then Origins dropped, and Origins, I liked it a lot. It was really good RPG for their first real attempt at an open world RPG. But there were a lot of places it failed too. The map being one of them, where you had half the districts just being desert with no quest lines in it, just sand really. This looks like they didn't do that. The new one looks much better, but I'm going to let that go. We're going to talk about that more in a bit. What I was worried about was the mythological creatures in the game, because they'd always pretty much gone from a rational, in their story with the Juno storyline in the background, a rational point of view.
Rational, historically accurate.
Yeah, there it is. So I was wary of the mythological creatures. Like in the last one, there were animus glitches where you were fighting the gods, so I was alright with that. But in this one, it appeared like they'd fully thrown that off. They were going straight God of War with it.
God of War, as in complete fantasy.
Right.
Just all bets are off. This is an RPG now. It's got the Assassin's Creed name on it.
I was fine with it.
But
and
when
surprise, Medusa's here.
When you end up beating Medusa, they showed what causes that. It's going to be the same with Minotaur.
That's should you say a spoiler warning? Do you think that's even a spoiler?
No, it's
now
it's
that
in
we're
the
this
video.
far in.
They revealed it.
They showed
That's
Yeah,
you.
right.
it.
You're right.
They're showing it. I'm going to talk about it.
All right, go for it.
So when you beat her, you rip out what appears to be like a golden snake spine type thing, and then when it conforms into a full object in your hand, it's an apple of Eden. So these creatures are caused by corruption from the first civilization artifacts,
Yep.
which has been a mainstay of the game since the Altair Assassin's Creed 1. So
Yeah,
that I can get behind.
as I was saying that, I was realizing that anybody playing Assassin's Creed knows what the Apple of Eden is now,
Right.
by now, because it has been a
In
mainstay.
the first
so,
game, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
that's
so,
the perfect way. Like,
yeah, 100%.
and I hadn't even thought about it until we saw it today, of how they could implement these mythological beings. Because, yeah, Assassin's Creed has been historically accurate and such, but when we saw the Minotaur tease, and then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? Medusa's in this.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. I didn't even say no to it, because we had a discussion last episode where he was all against it, and I was like, no, fuck that. I love this.
It's cool content.
Give me
I
that
don't
shit.
care.
Give me all the gods.
But
and then
this
it's
is-
like, okay.
This
This
is
is how they
tied
do
it
it.
in. So I'm very happy with it, because that was something I was
Wary.
about. Now
This is
I'm
the-
fully on board.
Yeah, this is the perfect way to give us all that mythology, but stay
Especially Greek
historically
mythology, which
accurate.
is so
There's so much- it's-
robust,
yeah,
to
it's
use
so-
your word. There's so
That's
much
yours
of it.
now.
And the fact that they showed us the entirety of the Medusa hunt, by the way, makes me think there's a lot more to come.
And that was endgame content. That's an endgame
Yeah, that
quest.
was level
So I'm going to
50
assume the Minotaur is the same.
elite monster.
But yeah, that just it made sense in the Assassin's Creed universe, and that's what I wanted it to do, and they nailed it. So I'm very happy with that. Still not giving it Game of the Year, but it'll definitely be a contender.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a contender. The
This is an
the
interesting
award.
jump from 2 podcasts ago.
Well, no, I said
No, I
was,
always thought it would be a
I said
contender.
I was hopeful that it could be a contender because of the setting of it. Like, the setting of Origins is cool, but I played around 20 hours of Origins and it never drew me in. I just never got drawn into that game.
Right.
And so I didn't finish it. I played 20 hours and I walked away from it because I didn't care about it. And then this one just seems so different. Like, I just want to see more of it. Every detail, I need to get into that. I don't know if I want to say every quest because we found out how many
300
there are today.
Over 300 quests.
But prior to that, I was going to say every quest, because Assassin's Creed games mostly they haven't been
They're a straight line.
humongous,
Right?
but this time there's over 300 quests,
Right.
and also
And the narrative
600
director,
points of interest.
the narrative director,
And
have said
On top of
in
that,
an interview
no,
that they're
no, I'm going.
100 hours story.
Yeah, which is really cool, and that's great
That's
for the
insane.
Assassin's Creed franchise. It needed to evolve like this, so I'm glad it has, and it's moving with the times. But one thing that I really like, they were talking about their biomes for the structure, and Greece is such a good setting for that because you have snowy mountains, tropical beach locations.
Yeah, you do.
Greece is just a great location. And with Egypt, it was sand with some oases sprinkled in, and I hated
The travel was so
hated-
bland.
Origins
It
looked
just-
good, but it was just... I was so sick of the
The
textures.
thing is, it had to be because
Yeah.
it was historically accurate. Like we
It
keep
was
saying,
Egypt.
it's
Right, yeah.
Egypt,
Like you can't sit there and say it looked bad because it looked fantastic.
Yes, it was
but it
just...
was just sand.
Like they came out with that, what was it, exploration mode, where you could just explore Egypt in this video game, and that's really cool. But it just didn't draw me in as a game.
Right.
But this one does, man, and
Gotta
you're
say,
back.
real life, I'd much rather go to Greece than Egypt.
Correct.
So
It's
just-
well,
just
just the
location-wise.
game that we're looking
I
at
also hate the heat.
is so it looks so vibrant. Like we
Yeah, it does.
saw the not naval battles, but just naval travel today.
Well, we've
good.
seen
It
some
looked
naval combat.
incredible.
We've
Well,
seen
yeah.
some just sailing through to different quests and stuff, and
some
just
shark fights.
shark fights, features of the ships. So we've seen quite a bit of it, and it's all inspiring.
I just want to
So-
cleave a ship in half. Just give me that.
Just
Yeah, you can do that. And
No, that's what they call
like,
it. The cleaving.
the cleaving
You
it,
just cleave
yeah.
it right in half.
Not only that, but in this time, when you cleave it in half, as you're going through it, you can jump onto it and continue fighting
Well, the
as
thing
it's
is,
going down.
you gotta loot it like actively. Like in
Right,
this one,
yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
get to the
you
chest.
have to swim
so-
down if
right.
you don't.
Yeah, you're swimming underwater after it sinks.
Right.
So
For more shark
just
fights.
the mechanics of that.
So good.
You crash through, you cleave this ship in half. As you're going through the ship, you are looking at it. You jump onto it as these sailors on this ship are frantic, and you just start meleeing the shit out of them. And
Everyone's murdered.
they're still fighting as the ship's going down. It's just so chaotic, and it's just great. Yeah, some animations aren't top notch, but you can only do so much in a
As long as I
iteration.
don't jump off the topsail and die 600 times, better than Black Flags.
Which,
Great game.
I was going to
Don't
say,
get me
there's
wrong, my
no-
favorite AC
Black
so
Flag
far.
was my favorite until now.
Until us. Agreed.
Because I don't think
I love Black Flags.
they've never made a
It was a
game
good
like
game.
this, and this is
Well-
this is just incredible.
We haven't even talked about like the lieutenant system in this.
No,
where-
and they detailed more of that stuff today
where
too.
your lieutenants, they also have an impact. They have special skills and things, legendary lieutenants. So when we talk about this cleaving, you can have a lieutenant on there that gives you like a special skill for that. That when you're doing this or whatever, there's extra damage or there's ship battles in general. If they're the ones that you have on the ship commanding, they'll do extra things that are just awesome. You can choose whatever you want to do. I'm going to be a pirate. I'm going to go out and I'm going to hunt merchant vessels, and when they send other mercenaries after me, which they detailed in today, I'm going to kill them too.
The way they detailed it, they said you could go to a goat farm and kill all the farmers' goats, and then
They actually said you could be a douche and do this. So.
yeah, and you don't desynchronize this time. There's no
Right.
desynchronization
Just-
for being bad,
Which is awesome.
because it used to. If you haven't played Assassin's Creed,
Don't kill citizens, or you'll be desynced and lose all
you
your
are
progress.
synchronized into this machine called the Animus, which you go back in time through your lineage and play.
Well, at this point, it's not
Your-
even through the lineage.
Not
It's through
anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's no
Desmond's
longer. Yeah,
lineage,
yeah, that's right.
and he's dead.
Well,
so
that was the.
spoiler warning from the 2010 game. Apologize.
I didn't know that.
What? Yeah. It's DNA recovered from him
Kidding.
and Subject 17 and other. I really like Assassin's Creed. The
Yeah,
lore
me too.
on it's great.
I'm kidding.
We haven't
by
seen
the
any
way.
Animus yet, so
I don't know what Kevin's
maybe.
saying.
No,
maybe,
we didn't
Kev.
see it for
Maybe there's none
Origins
in it.
either.
No, there is.
No, they
It's
already
confirmed.
announced it's
They
gonna. It's
confirmed it.
confirmed.
It's
Unfortunate.
Layla's story still. So from the main character from Origins is returning.
I was
How
trying,
sad.
Kev.
You're gonna go
appreciate
save
it.
her friend who got captured at the end
Yeah,
of the last
correct.
one, no doubt. Spoiler.
Okay, so that was kind of a
That one's
spoiler.
a big spoiler.
2016. I apologize for nothing.
That was 2017. That was
No, it
not
was 2016.
No, it was
No, it was-
16, wasn't it?
It was
I think so.
2017.
Oh, no, that was last year.
It was last
2017. Yeah,
That one might be bad.
yeah, that was a pretty bad one.
Turn it off.
But
Turn it
yeah,
off.
Who cares
30
about the-
seconds ago.
Who cares about
and then
the present story?
and then we haven't
anyway?
even. There's
Exactly. No, you got to stop right there.
'Cause
Who cares about the present story?
really-
Just get rid of
don't
it.
care
Cut
about
it
at
out.
all.
that's true.
Cut it out.
That's very true.
But the thing is, they want to tie it to the Juno storyline and all that. So
Don't need that.
Can we talk about
I
the
agree.
squad
Get rid of it.
fights where I take my army into battle against somebody else's army?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's going to be insane,
Yes, it is.
and it's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
it's
And it's all
anything
the-
like Nino Cooney's squad fights.
It's going to be exactly.
Did you like those?
That, I
Yeah,
was
they were
thinking
great.
that
Yeah,
during
my
that.
favorite
I was
parts of
like,
the game.
This is the same thing, but visually, it's
A
real
lot
people.
better.
Like it's visual. Oh, it's going to be insane, and you
Right,
can
yeah.
summon in whichever lieutenants you want to bring for specific things. And
But the thing with that, if they die, they're dead for
they're,
good.
that's true.
Yeah, that is true. So you got to kind of.
Well, you can
Pick
you
and
can actually
choose the
choose
moments.
if you don't want to fight. Like if there's a boss on their team or whatever you want to call it, like a
Champion?
lieutenant or a champion on their group, and you don't want to fight him, you can sit back and do nothing and just snipe while your lieutenant fights him.
And hope your lieutenant doesn't die.
Correct.
They announced some pretty cool lieutenants today too.
Yeah.
The father of medicine. Not even gonna take a shot at his name.
Don't even do it.
Herodotus, the father of history. I will take a shot at his name because it's easier.
Which still shows that they're staying historically.
Historically
accurate.
those are historically
main
accurate
characters,
people,
which is just another reason I've always loved Assassin's Creed.
It
Well,
adds,
I mean, the whole base of the story is that you were thrown away as an infant from Sparta, which is something that happened. And
Right. And they almost kind of let a couple secrets go today that
He
they weren't
almost
supposed to.
spoiled something because they had a glitch that he wanted to talk about, but apparently that glitch was important for storyline or something that was happening on the ship later on. So he redirected real quick once he caught himself.
They were also talking about King Leonidas' spear.
Mhm.
And for those that didn't know, the spear itself is actually upgradable. And the way that you do that is by finding these cultists, killing them, and getting the shards.
Cultists, Templars, same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what it is. But you get the shards, and you are actually able to they're
6
calling
tiers.
these legendary artifact weapons. Is that what it is?
It's a first
You can
civilization.
also
First civilization
you
artifact.
can
that's what-
engrave the spear as well, right? It was talking about
you can engrave
weapons.
your weapons. in
So
this.
if you want to add like fire damage, you can engrave it. It's basically like runes
Right,
from
yeah.
Dragon Age. If you guys ever played those
Mhm.
games, very
So
similar. In that
prior
aspect.
to today, I was expecting because
this
most of
loot
the stuff
system is going to be insane.
right,
It's
and
full body
most of
armor,
the loot
weapons.
system in Origins was cosmetic based.
Yep.
Because the gear slots
armor.
actually matter in this one.
right,
Well, yeah, the weapons obviously,
the weapons
but
were good,
they were really good. But
but the armor sucked because it was just
it was
snake
just
hood.
yeah, cosmetic. So this one, every gear slot actually matters, and you can engrave your weapons. They didn't say anything about engraving or imbuing on.
The spear. I don't
Yeah.
think you can.
Well, their
the
answer to
spear
that
has-
was that the
The
spear
has
is
its own special
upgradable.
abilities.
Well, the
anyway,
weapons
yeah.
are also upgradable. The engravings
Yeah.
are something separate. And the spear
Yeah,
has
that's like-
6 tiers, I believe they said. It could be upgraded.
Oh, did they say 6? I
think
missed
so.
that.
Well, that was
I did.
when they were level 50 and it was at 6th tier. So
Yeah.
I would imagine
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
the
go over
max.
that
I
because
think
that
they
is
said
the
it was
level
max.
cap in the game.
It's
It was
50.
50.
Right.
50,
Yeah,
yes.
it's 50. And they also confirmed, which they've confirmed before, but they all the skills, I think he said there was over 30 of them, and they are all upgradable as well.
They have 3 tiers each skill.
And there were some cool looking skills.
That combat
But that's
is so
also
good.
those are like the active skills because they also have passive skills that are a
Yeah.
separate thing.
They have
You could
active
have,
and passive.
By the way, 4 skills at one time with the left bumper.
Yeah.
Or left L1 with the PlayStation. And then I believe it's L2, and you had 4 more. So a total of 8, I believe, is what they had there.
And this is a first
Equipped.
for them to have an active skill system like this.
Right.
100%.
So all your face buttons are now going to be activating the skills. and they will have cooldowns and stuff like that. And we're assuming that they haven't really gone into detail
They
with
showed
this.
so many
but
cool ones. I don't even care.
We're assuming that as you upgrade, the radius may increase depending, or the cooldown will
range.
decrease, stuff like that. Traditional RPG
Noctis
elements.
Warp Strike. Oh my god! I
Oh
can't
man!
wait. That was
So
insane.
they pretty much gave you Noctis's Warp Strike from Final Fantasy 15
Using the spear.
without the particle effects. So you throw the spear, and then all of a sudden you sprint there and just retrieve it. You sprint
You
in
teleport.
quotations
It's a teleport.
because nobody can run that fast.
It's like a blur.
It is a blur,
You
and then
are
you're just
the
there
Flash,
taking it out of the
basically.
throat. That was just so
It was
cool.
so good.
All of them, all the skills look so good, and
One thing, I don't think they give you a shield and said they. In
No,
fact, they
there's
actively
not a
said
shield,
it. They
'cause
want
offhand
you
is the spear.
to jump in.
Yeah.
Like in Origins combat, you had a shield, so you could just kind of circle. This, they want you to be the aggressor. You're not
Yeah.
sitting back. You're taking the fight to them, which is obviously going to make the game harder. But at
The
the same
gameplay
time,
has absolutely changed.
it's so fast.
The combat system is completely
It's
overhauled,
lightning.
and they took away that block and counter. This is basically what the combat used to be. Counter, block. The
Right.
parry is still here.
yes, the parry is super high damage too
Yeah.
when you land it.
Yep.
So that's, but
Well,
that's
what
about all
what
you
was
got.
the highest we
and
saw?
you got rolls.
150,000?
It was
Well,
over 100.
They did.
for
They
a
did
critical.
one of the.
Oh, my
back,
favorite
back
thing.
from the Origins, it was like the special attack with their weapons,
Yeah.
where it was like a chain of attacks. It was at least over 100,000, probably more.
I'm so glad they brought the assassination is like a one-shot kill back. That makes me
Yeah,
so
that's really
happy.
nice.
It's
Nice touch.
That used to annoy me
the
so much.
Stupidest thing in Origins.
Another
I just
nice
stabbed
touch.
this guy in the neck and he's fine.
from
That makes
above
sense.
that he never saw it coming.
Yeah.
He's down a quarter of his health. Like, it used to drive me insane.
Two other nice touches were your eagle being named Icarus.
That has
and-
terrible connotations for your eagle. Kind of worried about him now.
I don't think your eagle's flying too close to the sun,
Yeah,
my
until
man.
he takes
Yeah,
an arrow
that's
through the head, then you got a dead eagle.
Well,
Is that what you
that's
want?
sad.
I would cry immediately.
And the second one, I have forgotten because he just went way out into the sun.
They did a lot. I don't know if I actually, when they mentioned the
The
100-hour
horse. Is
story,
it the horse you were about to mention?
No.
Well, at the beginning of the game, you have a bunch of different breeds of horses, and you can choose the one you want, and that's when you call your horse, that's the horse throughout the game.
that is pretty cool.
And also about the horse, if it senses the dangerous terrain, it will actually get scared, which is cool too.
Like with Medusa.
yeah.
for example.
Well, Medusa wouldn't go in
Where
there.
it wouldn't go
I
near
was like,
it,
no,
yep.
not going in there.
And
Thanks,
That was
horse.
what I was. The Medusa fight. They showed the ashes of men
right.
floating about, and they said this is the only place in the game you're going to see this. So that just shows you the level of detail and care that they're putting into that.
Right.
That was
It's
a
just
great
like,
level design.
man,
that was
that's
It was.
that
It
was
was insane.
fantastic.
And as the stone warriors come back to life, per se, to fight for Medusa now,
Mm-hmm.
they still had all of their names.
Right.
So
Which I
every
thought was so
warrior that
cool,
went
yeah.
in here to claim victory, you still know who they are as
Right.
you fight them. And one of the abilities that was highlighted was a area of effect,
Like
like
multi
throwback.
Looked
Oh.
like the most
Kind of looked like
useful
a
skill you could ever
force
have.
push to steal from Star Wars universe because he was getting overwhelmed, and all of a sudden they just went flying. And I was just like,
36,000 out of every one of them. They were all dead.
one of the first impacts on Medusa herself was a 64,000 critical
Crit.
slash. So that was
Well, he also used the
She had
multi slash.
so much health, by the way. She had over like 1 million at least.
Well,
yeah, because he did
she's
64K and then 20, 30, 40, and I
Yeah.
looked up and there was not even a quarter gone. I was like, yo.
that's a long fight.
That was
And,
a good 8-minute video at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good battle right there.
And that's a max character. You don't even know what gear he had on. He probably had.
He had really good gear on.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
like
did.
he
They
looked
said
like
he
he
was
looked like a
Spartan. They
Spartan.
said he
Yeah, he
was
did.
suited up.
Yeah, he did.
That was a hell of a suit too. by the
Yeah.
way.
That's
That
probably
armor
my
looks so
favorite
good.
part is the armor's impact on the way you actually look. I
Yeah.
love that it's actually visually
That
and
is my biggest issue with JRPGs. They never make the armor change your look, and
No,
it
they
drives
don't.
me insane.
Yeah, they really don't. That's just not a thing for them.
It's just the way it is.
That's a
But
Western
it is
thing,
such
man.
a cool touch to be. Oh, so I've got the Spartan Trojan helmet on and Spartan Trojan.
Two different countries.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I'm just nodding with you.
I've got the Spartan helmet on, and
It's got the plume.
It's got the plume and everything, and you see that visually, and it's such a cool touch for any game that.
That is the
I mean,
first
this is
thing
the
I will
Greek
try and find.
mythology,
Spartan helmet.
Greek history
Give
is
it to
just
me.
so cool. There's so much they're gonna do with it, and
But the level of detail on that as well, like the
face guard on the helmet,
on the
plume.
top, the plume.
Mhm.
As you're moving around, you can see the individual
like tufts of it wiggling,
just moving around. The
Well,
physics are
If you pay
really
attention
good.
when
good.
he's on the ship, the wind is actually ruffling the plume.
Yeah, that's
as he's
what I
moving
was
through, which is
referencing.
so cool.
The
chest
leather,
plate looks so
the leather
good.
straps on it actually look like leather this time instead of just
Part
pasted.
of the mesh. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so the level of detail is really
Really good.
really upped.
Well,
in
the game
this.
comes out in a month actually, so
Yeah, it comes out.
He
next
just
month.
means from
This-
like Origins, because Origins.
Yeah,
right.
it's
I
just
know what
like
he's saying, but like
to go
Ugh.
from last year to this year and have this much of a visual
jump.
upgrade that's great, man. These guys
Yeah.
are putting in some work over there
well, when
at Ubisoft.
we discussed it on a previous one where Origins was kind of like they were testing the pool. They touched their toes in, making sure that it was going to sell the way Assassin's Creed always have.
So Origins was actually less than a year ago. It's the 27th of October.
And
Apologies for that.
So they were working on Odyssey beforehand. So I'm not saying that they didn't have their A team on Origins, but it's very possible that they had pulled some of them over to make sure that this is the game they wanted. This was the one they put all the time and effort into.
Well, to be
And-
fair, they also had two different development teams. These guys have been working on this one for over 4
Right.
years. So this is
This was the one they wanted. This was their big one.
Origins
Yeah.
is definitely a testing ground.
because
100%.
I apologize to you, developer man whose name I did not catch today, but he was from. And if you go to Ubisoft's YouTube channel, I'm sure they have the replay there, which
They're
we
still showing.
encourage
I
you
think
to
they're still
Packs
doing
too,
videos.
yeah.
we encourage you to go there and check out all the videos that they have released. You will see the developer discussing what he was working on before was Assassin's Creed 3, and he was the head of the team that was doing the
Homestead.
yeah. So you got that too. So
Yes.
that's a great sign for this game.
It's one of my favorite parts of the
'Cause
third game.
That was the best part of the other game was the intimate stuff. So, yeah, this.
By the way,
It's gonna be
Game of
great.
the year.
How
Game
how
of the year.
passionate he was about this game really spoke to me.
Yeah.
I love his voice. You could tell how much he liked it.
You can tell he poured everything he's got into this game.
Well, they
great to hear.
talked about how developers don't even always play their games through.
But
and they talked
he
about
specifically said that. Yeah,
How he did. He couldn't put it down, so
Yeah.
he played the game through.
he said that in this Odyssey he will have 100% completion too, and from all the information that we're getting,
That's a lot.
that is
300
a
quests.
lot of
Over
time.
600
time.
points of interest.
A lot, and then like you have these quests, you have these points of interest. You don't have to do them all.
Right.
You have them available for you, and you can also go sail the sea. You can just
Well,
walk around.
and we didn't even talk about like the city states. The whole point, the whole
Right, yeah.
actual campaign is based on
war
the
that's
war, the
happening.
Peloponnesian War.
My thing is, how quickly can you get max level? 300 quests? That's a lot of quests.
Oh, you're going to be max level.
You will.
You're level
Far-
50
far
is-
before that. Yeah.
Yes, so I
I
gotta
say
think
probably
you could power level so quick in this
30
game.
hours.
I'm gonna try 10 hours. I'm gonna do it.
That's
I
fine.
mean,
promise
if
to you
you're-
guys.
If you're going to try to just grind it
Yes,
out,
yes.
yeah, you probably can 10, 15
all,
hours.
all you're going to do is find an exploit place that you can kill a guy that
No,
you shouldn't
no,
be
no,
able to
no,
kill.
no,
oh, you're
just
talking
do-
about exploits?
No,
He's just talking about
I'm
leveling.
talking about quests
getting
and
to
points
max
of
level.
interest. Just doing that to level
Just
50.
doing, all right.
Oh, you could literally, if there's
Yeah,
600
probably,
points of
probably
interest, you could
15
probably
hours,
get to
maybe 20.
Yes.
You
No,
could
I'm not
probably
talking
get to
about
like
just
level 30 just on
exploit.
points
I don't
of interest.
exploit
They give you
everything,
experience.
okay? Just certain games.
Just JRPGs.
Yes.
They're made to
Only
do that.
JRPGs.
They
They
are-
are
they
really
are
You're supposed to do
designed.
that. You
They
need to
have
grind.
Persona 5
Grind City.
had Saint Hill by like 2 hours.
I mean,
That one's supposed to be like a super long game.
It wasn't
too.
2
Persona
hours.
5 is supposed
In
to
a
be like a
JRPG,
20-hour game.
you don't talk negatively about grinding.
No, that's the whole
That's
point of the
a part-
game.
It's
I
a
love
whole
grinding anyway.
part of it. If If
I love
a
JRPGs.
developer is creating a JRPG and they get grinding wrong,
Yeah, but they
it's
also
a
put the
flop.
exploits in
It's
there
over.
for a reason too.
Yeah.
Like
if you want to be super OP.
Signgarten, the invisible bow from Final Fantasy
Fantasy
12. That was there for a reason.
Sight
They
red,
wanted
for those of you who know how to pronounce things.
it. Was,
You butchered that.
whatever. It was there, and it's there for a reason. They want you to be.
Oh, they had an invisible sword and shield too. The shield just absorbed every element and gave you 90 evade.
Did you get those?
No, not yet. Like I said, I haven't had time to do anything the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to do the ultimate boss for Ni no Kuni and then work on the Ultima boss for Final Fantasy 12.
And the Ultima boss will be a TSGG rewind.
Yes.
So look for that in the future.
Well, the Ni no Kuni one is going on. It's going to be a video as well, right?
Yeah.
That'll probably be.
But that won't be a rewind.
You can't
That's,
edit.
Enjoy.
You're right.
You're going to have to close his eyes while he edits.
I'll still do a hell of a job.
Right,
It will be terrible. I'm not that good.
It'll just be whatever you send him. He's just gonna.
Anything else on
Click.
Odyssey before we move
No,
on?
I mean, there's so much we could talk about it a whole podcast.
We could spend
It's gonna have
hours.
so much content,
And we will spend hours talking about Odyssey.
It'll come up next week. I'm still not giving it Game of the Year.
Oh, I am.
I like it. I'll probably like it more than God of War, but Red Dead
It's got
2,
so much more content.
I'm just waiting on Red Dead Redemption.
We'll
2.
talk further about Game of the Year in podcasts to come. But for now, definitely place AC Odyssey on your list.
October 5th.
If you pre-order
October
it, the
5th.
gold edition, you get it October 2nd.
Yes, they said that any gold edition
days from
or
when this is being
limited
recorded.
edition gets October 2nd release. Everybody else is October 5th. Okay, moving on to Devil May Cry 5.
We'll go quick through this. So there was a leak that happened over the weekend. Essentially, it was a cutscene and very clearly video cameraed.
Stolen.
Very clearly the beginning
Stolen.
of the game.
Correct.
Yes. A very important cutscene. Pretty much confirmed Virgil tears off Nero's arm, turns it back into Yamato, cuts through dimensions, and walks out like he does.
Yeah.
God, he's cool.
He's so cool.
But
He's so cool.
So that was his part in that, and then it gave you the name of the Demon King, who I believe is the main antagonist, but they haven't confirmed that yet. His name is Urizen, Urizen, something like that. And they also showed Dante's devil triggered form, which is always cool to see.
That's so cool.
And he got his ass whooped. So this guy's
sure did.
This Demon King's strong. Nero's probably gonna have to get his arm back before fighting him, I would assume. I don't know what's going on with Virgil, if he's being controlled, if he's acting independently.
I don't think he's
one
being
really
controlled.
knows. Well, he was saying about how he didn't have much time left, so I think he's
on the death clock, actually.
yes. I think
'Cause
once
when-
Mundus died, I think
When he made that slash into the dimension and was going away, he was fucking
he was
limping, man.
yeah,
He was hurting. He was fucked up.
probably a reason they didn't show us his face or body.
Yeah.
He's probably like decaying.
He's all cut up and shit. Yeah, probably.
But
oh yeah,
can't wait to
actually,
see more
decaying
about
would
him.
probably be a better word. Yeah, you're right. So for the timeline, we kind of got
it's
information on how this timeline's going to work.
They actually released this, the devs. So it is confirmed sequel for DMC 2. So that makes 3 and 4 and possibly 1 all prequels to, well, it does make them
2
all
and
prequels
5.
to 5, but
So the correct timeline now is 1, 3, 4,
2,
2,
5.
5.
As far as we know. I don't know where 1 actually falls. It might be
1 would
after,
still be-
but before, I don't know.
1 would still be the chronological order.
Was 1 right before 2? I never
Yeah,
played
it
1 or
was
2.
right before. Yeah, so
2 got shit all over. I heard it's just terrible.
it was the mechanics that were the
But
problem.
I heard Dante looked really, really cool in it, so there you go.
It was just the gameplay. It was rushed.
Yeah.
Similar with Dragon Age Origins and then Dragon Age 2.
Inquisition.
God, Dragon
No,
Age
not
2 was
Inquisition.
terrible.
Inquisition was
Inquisition.
good.
Yeah.
It's just 1 to 2. They changed a lot of mechanics, made it
And
more
did it
action style,
poorly.
and they copy and pasted most of the game. The story, though, isn't
All
bad.
the
It's good.
caves were the same.
As
Every
You went down
traditional-
the
Every
same
dungeon.
sewer 100
Oh, man.
times. Find the murderer. Oh, find this
Find the
murderer.
item. It's in the left corner. Find this item. It's in the right corner. Hey.
Yeah, but that's just the information.
Wonder what's around this corner? Oh, look, it's bandits. The same bandits. They're back. I thought I burned you all alive.
You did.
Combat was
They're
good.
back.
Combat was good in that game.
It was, but I preferred the other skill method
Everything
where
about
it's a
Origins
cooldown
is
and
better,
stuff.
So don't even get me started. It's just a superior game to any game they made after.
It's, to
remake
me,
Origins.
a superior game to most RPGs.
You're not wrong.
But anyway, Devil May Cry has nothing to do with Dragon Age Universe. No, Virgil did not cut through and go to Orzammar. It did not happen.
But yeah, I just want to see Virgil. I just want to see Yamato. I want to see Nero use Yamato.
You think he will?
I think so. He'll probably
His
use
robo
that to kill the
arm.
Demon King.
I don't think he
I
gets his
don't
arm
even
back.
want to see his robo
I think his
arm.
robo
Well,
arm
his
is
arm
so
is-
important to the whole
His
story.
arm is
that-
all his power, though.
I
That's
know
his
that.
devil breaker.
I know.
That's his
but
whole
that's
thing.
the whole.
He absorbs the strengths of the demons he
What
beat.
we saw at E3, they focused so much on his arm.
The different ones.
It's
Right.
probably New
And
Game
Gamescom,
Plus.
too.
Probably New Game Plus. You
So
have
I
his
think-
actual arm back, I would assume.
No, that could be.
Special cool
Which would be
abilities.
really cool because then you
Yeah.
have a whole new abilities for
Yes,
the next
for the
your
new-
next playthrough.
But that's DMC, man. They're going to do that
Yeah.
for you.
Yes, exactly.
That's what they do. That's why they're so
This
good.
game's been in development for 5 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just throw it at me. But
Yeah.
That's what we've got
that's
on
the news
DMC.
DMC.
So we got the timeline pretty much revealed for us. It's unfortunate that a leak happened. But I mean,
It is the
what can you
industry.
do?
It does
Yeah.
happen in the industry. It has happened before.
Leaks happen. They're
It'll
always
happen
going to
again.
It'll
happen.
happen again. It always
The
does.
developers, we want them to have their assets protected, but we also want to know what's going on back there.
Right.
So it's a shitty situation, but we got the info, and we look forward to playing that game on March 22nd,
2019.
2019. So coming out way sooner than anybody had anticipated, especially after seeing the demos and how beautiful that game is. So what are you guys going to be? You guys going to PlayStation or Xbox that one?
I'll probably go Xbox.
Xbox?
Just, that's what I
don't know.
generally buy games on. So.
Did they announce if they're going to have 4K support for that or anything details
I
like
would-
that? I
I'd
haven't
have to
seen.
imagine
I have
they
to look
would.
It
into
would
it.
have to be.
At this
There's-
point,
there's no way it
There's
wouldn't
no
be.
way.
Yeah.
I'll send you
Well,
a
no,
video.
what's that?
I said I'll send you a video. I'm sure you'll order an actual physical copy, and it'll be delayed 6 days, and I'll have it 3 days before you. So
I'm hoping that doesn't turn into a trend.
it's a trend.
It's a trend. It's
Ugh.
happening.
U.S.
No.
Postal Mail, my guy. Mistakes.
My goodness. It's not good. Yeah, that's a dark spot. So DMC 5, more info. That's good stuff. Biomutant by
We
THQ
can,
Nordic. Yeah, we're good.
all
By
right.
THQ
Said
Nordic.
it.
So this one, they gave us a 35-minute video. A lot of it was the same gameplay we'd seen before, basically with the rockets and everything. But at the end of the video, they actually started discussing mutations, new skills.
So this is not everything that we have seen at Gamescom. This is completely new, right?
Right. So the beginning part of it was old stuff, but then they got into the basically how you can create your character now. Everything that's going on with that. There's over 500,000 genetic codes that you can basically create. That
Different
just
types of
mutations
mutations.
that.
They
and-
pull that off well. That will be incredible.
Oh, they have.
well,
That's
they-
the,
yeah,
that's
they've
the
showed
system
it
that's
to
in
us.
place.
It's-
Like that's the whole draw to it.
Yeah.
So good.
And not only that, it doesn't end there. So your entire character looks based on what you choose. So if I want to be a smarter character and I want, which they did actually say impacts the game, because later on I'll talk to you about kinetic abilities and things like that your character can have.
I'm gonna be a skinny.
But if I want to be super intellectual, my head's going to be ginormous.
Yep, I'm gonna
Right.
be
My
skinny,
body's gonna be
huge bobblehead looking character.
But
He's going to be
Moving
later
things with my
on-
mind.
from
later
South Park.
on, and the one they actually showed us, the kinetic ability. All right, so
Psychokinesis.
so the kinetic abilities
Ruining
in the
all of
game,
his things.
you basically go underground, and there are underground bunkers with latent radiation that give you your kinetic abilities. And the smarter your character is, the more intellectual, the better they are. The one that they actually showed us, you create basically a force field around you that just deflects bullets. But at the same time, you can jump, and you can use that force field basically as like a launching pad, and it'll just bounce you.
That's so cool.
And it was so
So it's
cool
a
to watch. because-
Trampoline shield.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
it was like a bubble around you that you just created, and you could bounce with it.
You're just going all over the place with
But
the
at the
bubble.
same time, you were just
You're deflecting
if you
attacks.
hit them, did it do damage?
yeah, like it would bounce them away from you, and they were shooting bullets at you, and it was just reflecting
So
into
it's
them
just
over and
kind of
over.
like a Lucio boop. You just knock them off edges. Got it.
Yeah,
Pretty
well,
much,
there's
yeah.
that too, and it was just so cool to watch. And then they went into,
Do we know if there's fall damage in this game?
I don't know, I haven't seen it, and you've seen them fall from a lot of
Yeah, I haven't seen it
some big
either.
heights. And then they went into the actual weapon customization and things like this. And the weapons that they showed us are, so you've got a couple choices. You can do you have a randomized option that'll just create a weapon out of whatever junk you've picked up.
Yep.
And it'll actually show you. They all have different damage types. They have different mods that go on them. It's just so much customization that they've showed us. And the coolest part that they talked about were the radiation ponds that you find throughout the game. So there's two different radiations basically that cause mutations. The underground bunkers, they give you the kinetic abilities, whereas the pools of radiation can give you
Physical.
physical mutations. And the ones that they talked about, basically you can jump into a pool of radiation and come out with crab claws coming out of your back that you can then become autonomous weapons that can grab and throw people. And
That's my hopes for Fallout 76 mutations, by the way.
and
I don't think they're going to take it to that extreme.
I don't think so either. But then they discussed also like randomly your shoulder can mutate, and then you can just kind of deploy a hardened shield out of your shoulder.
Yeah, because this is a
It's crazy.
level of detail that's just
This is the
chaotic.
whole draw of the game.
Right,
Is
this is
this,
the game.
chaos, pure chaos.
It's nobody's character is going to be the same
Yeah,
because
'cause
500,000 combinations.
This is the whole appeal
And that's
to
just radiation. That's not even. That's
Right.
No,
like,
that's
not-
just
that's
your
not
that's your
making it,
character
right.
creation is the 500,000 different options, and then you go into the radiation, the kinetic abilities, stuff like that, and the weapons. It's just going to be the customization in the game is insane. It's going to
Yeah,
be,
you got mech suits.
Yep.
You got everything.
and they showed us a boss fight, which was like this ginormous worm creature.
Yep.
This is the world eater.
Yeah,
World Eater.
it didn't show it to us, but it showed him.
Was it the boss
So
from
cool
the
looking.
earlier?
Was it the same one from
Were you in the
Gamescom?
mech?
Yeah, you're in the mech.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was the same.
The world
Yeah.
eater.
Yeah.
Then.
The mech.
Choose on the roots of the world tree.
Right.
They were. Oh, that fist weapon, the hand weapon. That's something that was found. So they have other things that are out in the world too, and so I'm not 100% on this or not. If you can actually customize and upgrade these type of things, or if these are one-offs that are out there for you to find.
Well, I've actually seen two different versions of that same fist weapon, so I don't know if you can build different ones or if you find them and then you can upgrade them. But I have seen two different color schemes on them, so I know that
So we'll
there's
try
some
to
kind of customization with them.
get more in depth with that as if we can. What else about Biomutant? We remember they said that the campaign itself, the main storyline, is about 10 hours or so,
Mhm.
Yep.
which is probably good for this because honestly, this is
I think most of the game is just wandering around, just doing.
Right, yeah,
random
that's the real
stuff.
appeal.
Like,
to
With
it.
the story, that's what I'll be doing before I do the campaign.
Yeah.
Just kinda
Oh,
wander
yeah.
around,
Heck yeah.
create a bunch of weapons,
Yeah.
get super OP, and then go kill all the world eaters.
well,
yeah, that's
mutations completely,
Seems like the point of the game.
They
It is,
completely
yeah.
change your whole
Your
gameplay
play style,
Yeah,
right.
it's going to be
That's
completely different.
experimenting with what's out there and
Right.
having fun.
Exactly. And
Sounds
if
very
there's like
similar
underground
to,
bunkers you've got to explore and
to
everything
mods
along those,
in another game that's upcoming.
it's just the weapon system actually it reminded me of that. Was not that one, but it reminded me of Metro Exodus.
Done.
When it showed us the crafting system in
Oh, yeah.
Metro, it looked they were
similar.
just so similar.
And this
Metro's
is
going to be a good
this
game.
is a level of detail that's or not level of detail, but this is a
Customization.
well, not that either. It's just a type of game that we haven't really experienced in a long time.
Yeah.
I would
this
say
is-
ever.
Just,
Well, no,
This is like
no
a
playthrough
new-
is going to be the same,
because other games like
especially if the
okay, so it doesn't really have a direct
Yeah,
comparison.
there's nothing.
But
it's new. I
drawn
love it.
from other games that were kind of like open box adventure type games where you could just go and explore. So obviously the mutations and stuff are their own thing, but,
Right, but-
this is a game where you just, in simplest form, get gear, go experiment with that gear on said enemies, and have fun. And it's chaotic and just make these combinations.
Right. And if the radiation is random, like
Yeah.
what happens to you, every playthrough is different because you're getting different radiation.
What
I
did
wanna
they say
be
it
turned
was?
into a lizard. That's all
They
I
say
want.
it was 6 tribes or 5?
There's 6 tribes.
6 tribes.
6 different enemy tribes, yes.
So there's going to be a ton of enemies, and we were shown one tribe, but in one zone.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the next zone look like?
Right.
What's that one look like with that tribe? What do they?
And-
Well, they
And
showed
does
like
that
a
have
wintry
different-
zone or
Yeah.
Different capabilities? Does the
They showed-
radiation in this area do different things to you? Like,
Right, yeah, the mutations there. What's the radiation there?
It's-
I don't know why Jake got less hype about this game after they
I
talked
know.
about it.
I was so
Didn't
surprised
make
about it. I didn't
sense.
have a response. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like that was.
I think you
don't-
just wanted a longer story.
I think that's what like.
But
It's
I
not
love
really
it.
that
I love
type
the
of game.
content
No,
ideas.
It
it's
never
like-
seemed like it was that type of game.
Like
I honestly love the way they speak. Like
Yeah.
elevators are up downs and like they've
It's-
created
yeah,
a
it's
whole
really
new
cool.
language based on
Yeah.
like
well, they're like
what would
they're a
happen
different
after
species.
Yeah.
like exactly like this world is gone, our human world is gone, and they've taken over, and then what we've left behind are like mechanical things.
Shockingly, it's
And
almost as
the-
bad.
2 very impressive things are one, the combat mechanics are really really good,
Oh yeah, it's fluid.
and
You're
2,
flying all over the place.
this is beautiful. So
Very clean.
it's very
I like
crisp,
the animation
very
style they
clean.
went with.
Me too.
Very
Suits the game.
fluid,
very
like
This
you
is another
said.
one with damage weapon or damage numbers, by the way, that pop up.
Yeah, and it's just, and there's so many possibilities of play styles.
Right.
It's pretty much endless, really.
Yeah,
you
'cause
can just experiment and
Who
experiment and
knows how many
experiment. to your
radiation things they
heart's
put in the
content.
game that they're just like, oh, now you have crab claws out of your back.
Think of the kinetic powers. You can get
Oh.
like pyromancy and
Oh.
like,
You
just
can do
imagine.
anything, yeah.
Brennan's a lizard. Who saw that
Well,
one coming?
no surprise.
Showed how he
Shocker.
has skill.
If they
scales.
let me make scales on the customization instead of fur, I'm doing it.
They won't.
I'm gonna be a
Well, no,
scale
there
little
was
creature.
one that he had
Don't give him
radiation
what he
and his
wants.
shoulder was just scales. It was
He's gonna go and
his
just
fur was
sit in a
gone.
pool, and you're just gonna see
until
a
it has
timer
scales.
until he's gonna come up, and check its doneness, and put it back in the oven.
And it's just scaled. It's a scaled cat thing.
He's gonna start speaking his language to it until it responds.
Okay. Anywho,
So that's Biomutant.
Yep.
wait.
that's what we've got
Very
for
excited
Biomutant.
that.
Me too. It's
Let's
gonna be fun.
wrap up the show with Cyberpunk 2077 as we did last week.
And we'll do
it's
for many weeks to
The
come.
greatest
most
game
likely.
of all
a
time.
further
talk about?
discussion about Cyberpunk. Take it away, Brennan. You've been waiting all show.
Well,
What do you want to
I did
highlight
some,
this week?
I'll start with some of the stuff. So I watched the video about 6 times now.
I'm with you there.
So I
That's an understatement.
they showed
6
a-
times is a lie. It's at least 22.
It's 46. But I looked at a lot of things. Like they zoomed over some stuff that if you screenshot it like I did, you can get details that they didn't go over. So the first one, for example, when you pass the weapons dealer, they have the list of the guns available. So I screenshot that, and what we got here, we got the names, which they don't really matter. But what's more important underneath that, it shows like what's going to matter for your weapons in this game. So there's effective range. It shows the caliber of the bullets you're going to be using. For this one, for example, it's specifications unknown, experimental. So you don't even know what that gun's going to do. It's called the Nova Griffin, by the way. So
That's
I'm
pretty cool.
thinking like grenade launcher.
I don't know. There's a person blocking it, but sort of.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that looked huge.
That's a huge weapon right
Yes, it's definitely grenades.
there. Do you think
Grenades or
we're
rockets
gonna
or something.
have weapons in
Oh
here
my
like
God, imagine if it was like a homing rocket.
so if
I'm
you
more
shoot
excited
it?
for the Militech ARC myself, just because I like assault rifles.
Do you think we're gonna have different types of like ammunition?
100%.
Yeah, if they mention the
there's going to be
calibers,
like
you have
EMP
to.
rounds, Inferno rounds. I'm guaranteeing it right now.
Like, what if that Nova was that? Just a giant.
Just a Nova bomb.
yeah.
That would be insane.
Instant ash.
It's 35 pounds, by the way. It has weight.
Yeah, that's
listed.
got to be then. Yeah,
That's cool too. If it shows
that's a heavy gun.
that means that there's going to be like a weight limit to what you can
Yep.
carry, or
By the way, the Militech ARC's effective range is 640 yards. So I'm just sniping
that's a
with that.
sniper rifle.
Just when you go down the elevator, and you go out into the street for the first time, as he's looking up more information, I just wanted to get
he's got it
part
memorized.
across.
No, I just flipped over to the
when
next
you
photo.
first go out into the street, and then you see this is the opening of the game for sure.
Okay,
when
the
you
thing
see the
is,
Cyberpunk flash overhead,
Mhm.
that's not going to be there every time. That's them showing you
That's
this is
like the
Cyberpunk.
opening, right.
Yeah, and then you're hearing all this chatter around you. This is a living, breathing world. You haven't experienced this before.
This is new. This is
No, when they walk out and there's
me all
100
There
citizens,
were hundreds
NPCs
of
just
NPCs.
chilling. Like,
not even just chilling. They were all walking around.
Yeah,
They're buying
they're
things.
living
they were
their
talking.
lives.
Yeah.
It was
Day and night cycles.
a scale of NPC AI awareness that is unseen.
has never been done.
I think actually the old Assassin's Creeds would probably be the closest.
No, I would probably
they were
say
just inanimate, dead.
Yeah,
I mean, they were
NPCs
inanimate,
standing
but-
around. Okay, don't get me started on Bethesda.
Well, Bethesda games, they started that
They did
living
not.
system. What are you talking? Who started?
Oblivion might have started it.
Yeah,
You're right.
they did, and they
Early
expanded
Bethesda,
on that.
But the thing is, I
with
hate Skyrim, so I
Skyrim.
don't want to hear you say it.
Well, they expanded on it with Skyrim.
Skyrim is
Um,
getting an update.
I don't
right
hate
now, by the way.
Skyrim, by the way, guys. I
1.3
love
gigabytes.
Skyrim a lot.
He does
but-
not hate Skyrim. He's
But I
played
just
He wants to talk about Cyberpunk.
Let's get back to
back
it.
to Cyberpunk, the
Okay.
much better game.
One thing I
Witcher
gotta
3,
mention
by
about
the
it,
way,
though,
the
Oh,
AI
wait,
scale
wait,
was
hold
better
on.
than Skyrim's.
Wait, what did you say?
Witcher 3's like living AI was better than Skyrim's, by the way.
well,
so.
that was Projekt Red again. So
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
after
but,
Skyrim,
I mean,
so I'm
it's-
sure they drew inspiration.
Of course they did.
because
Yeah.
it was the RPG at the
So,
time.
back to the weight system
Oh, Brett's overturning me.
with
God.
the characterization that's in this and the customization of your character. I wonder if
It's a tribute based.
being a male or a woman would impact it.
No,
It's a
not going
tribute
to.
based. 100%.
Yeah, but
That's why they
so
let you
your
choose the
attributes
attributes from
oh,
the start.
Right,
Yeah.
the start.
They let you,
get to pick.
actively put into it.
That's right. But there will definitely be cybernetic mods that you can put. I'm gonna have robo legs, and I'll be
Right,
able to
that's what I
carry
was gonna say.
whatever I
You can
want.
just change your arm and carry anything.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
Which feeds directly into what Brennan's about to say, which is why I said that.
yeah,
So with the
Well,
mods,
it wasn't as good as earlier, but I'll give it to you.
wait
it's
till
not
he
really a
says it.
segue, but
It's perfect.
It's not
so
at all.
with the mods,
He was going for it, though. He's
I was
helpful.
gonna go with a different thing to start with that, but since Brett gave me such a beautiful setup, when you get the new mods, there is a cost listed. If you look very closely at the bottom of the description on the mods, it's the humanity cost. So the thing is, what is this going to change in the game? And this is a work in progress, so everything is subject to change. This could very well be a red herring. That's what Jake's been screaming at me the last 2 weeks. I don't think it is. I think this is going to be an integral part of the
So do I.
game.
Yeah, this isn't changing.
I told you.
The
what my
things
thoughts
that they
on
were
it.
talking about were probably like maybe as you were going down that hallway and you saw the what was it, Buck a Slice place right there?
Mhm.
It'd be
That
some
place could be moved somewhere else.
Right.
Like they're not those
Right.
type of things, or it could be
Layout
renamed or
and
something like
everything,
that.
right.
Yeah. So when somebody goes in and they're like, "Oh no, this is lies," like what you told me earlier about Spider-Man.
Oh,
That's the nonsense that
Yeah.
they're trying to
correct.
not have
Right.
by making that disclaimer,
Right.
because I don't know.
It caused.
I didn't know
nonsense.
about that until you told me about it. But if I go and look it up, it's probably got a million views.
It does.
So
There's so many.
But yeah, with the humanity cost, we don't know what that's going to affect. But just based on what the game is, I'm going to say choices you can make in the game, how people react to you, faction opinion, corporal opinion. I'm going to assume they like you the more AI you are, since they're all about that.
Well,
I just can't wait.
we saw the gang that is obsessed with it.
Yep, the
So,
Yeah.
so their reaction to you is obviously going to be better the more
modded you are.
modded you are. It's gonna.
Yep.
And we
So-
know that with their levels of stuff, that's absolutely going to be a thing.
what was do you know offhand what was the name of that modification that they did to her hand so that she could, and it changed the way her pistol looked and the
Subdermal-
sights and everything?
Oh well, the thing that changed the sights was her eye implant, which
Oh, it was
was
actually the
the
eye that did that?
Kuroshi optical
okay.
scanner
'Cause it's
MK2.
In your eye, the optic for the
Short
for
for
the
Mark
pistol
II,
was
for
now.
those of you who don't know specifications.
Okay.
So she got the Mark 1 and 2, by the way. When she got the eye implant, she did get the upgraded version as well. And she also got the subdermal grip,
which was the grip
which enables the use of locked weapons with negative 50% damage reduction.
Oh,
Increased
right, because
melee
they're
damage.
locked to genetic code now,
Right.
so
Right.
she's able to use those weapons.
So she can pick up anybody's weapon and use it. But it does
I wonder if you're
Which,
going to have to...
in the game is why she was able to use the tracking gun and the shotgun.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they
Just
were
pick
the
'em
enemy
up.
Those
weapons.
were those, and
Yes.
she could pick them up and use them. So if you don't have that mod, you can pick it up and you can still use it, but you get a 50% reduction.
No.
Well, this takes
This-
50% off, so it's still doing negative 50% is what I'm thinking.
Right.
Oh,
If
so
you're
you can't
using
even
it without,
use it.
yes, it's
Right.
So you can
100%.
upgrade this then.
Yes,
and
yes,
then
this is
get
Mark
that. You
1.
may even be able to get positive on
Right.
it.
Correct.
So good.
It is, and that is
I
so
hope
cool.
even if you don't have it, you could still pick these weapons up
Just to keep
because
with
a lot
you?
of them were epic.
Which would be, yeah.
Yes, 'cause
Yeah, but
it
they're
would
just
suck to have to leave them.
Bricks.
If not, I'm immediately putting this.
Yes.
The first mod I'm
1200
getting is this subdermal grip.
$1,200. And by the way, I love their mod setup. It's got like the little shopping carts down in the little bottom left, so it's like an Amazon
store.
screen.
Yeah,
It's
you're
great. I
going-
love it.
Yeah. And then he was like, well, I'm doing this, browse. So that's pretty cool.
And
That was
then-
just so good.
It was just so good. I just love the level of detail. Like when they zoomed in on the Mantis poster on the wall.
And they were zooming in to test her new eyeball that she purchased. So it all just goes together so well.
But they actually they gave them specifications for the Mantis blades. Like there's 30 inches of blade with another 10 inch in the sheath. So you've got like 40 inches. I wonder if how their hitboxes work. Is that like the range you're going to have? It's so good.
There's a lot going on here.
But one of the bigger things with the iMod is you can like scan people.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, when the doctor, whose name is Victor, which I can tell you from this handy picture here, it shows like what he's weak to, which in this case is everything because he's a very low threat percentage because he's just a doctor.
Well, that's the thing that I like the best about it, is it tells you their threat percentage.
Well, I'm going to give you a counter for that in just a second. Like his damage type is physical, and has low resistance to everything. But later on, when you meet the corpo agent, her damage type is unknown. You don't know what she's going to hit you with. Her resistances are all unknown. You don't know what she's resistant to, and her threat level is unknown.
So based on the character's level.
Right, and the
Right.
level
Based
of
on
the
your
scanning
eyes
mod.
level.
Yes.
Right. I'm assuming she'd murder you in like a heartbeat. So
Yeah, she's
I'm gonna
she's
avoid
gonna
that.
tear
She's a
you out.
badass.
Yeah.
She's a
Think
corpo
twice
agent. She's,
if you're going to keep those eddies.
No, I'm
my
keeping
friend.
the eddies. It's already happening. But and then another thing here, just with the jacket, when she put on the samurai jacket, it just shows you what it does, the specials, the resistances, and I think the bar at the bottom here, it's like a red health bar almost. I think it's durability. So I
Durability?
think they might break, but I'm not positive on that. That's all conjecture.
That would suck. I don't want to lose that jacket.
That's such
Yeah, but you say that, but then you're gonna get one.
Never going to wear it again.
Yeah, exactly.
so much better
you're
stuff.
gonna get a new one, and
This
it's
gives
like,
you 30 resistance.
That's going to hang in the closet forever.
Yep.
30
It's actually gonna get sold.
That's
'cause
terrible.
there-
I'm not gonna
there's-
sell it 'cause
there's
it's
a
just too
sales
cool.
System. No. Well, you say that, but then you get an
I'll
epic, and
sell
you're
it.
like, "Wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen."
20 minutes in the game, it's gone.
Yep. It's out
Hey,
of
which
here.
jacket? I broke it down for material.
Sold.
Exactly.
Got me some eddies. I won't need the eddies because I'll have the 50.
Because you're going to take that.
That's right.
Good luck. You're gonna fry your own brain.
So yeah,
No,
that's
what Jake said. I don't believe it.
that's
I
the
think
hype.
That's how it's gonna happen.
That's the hype for Cyberpunk.
That's straight from Brennon.
And
too.
that is.
Yeah.
I haven't
that
seen
is-
that information come out anywhere.
He's going to put those images on the
Yes,
website
it
for
is
you
an
guys to all
upcoming article.
see. So look forward to that.
And that's
And,
only about 20 minutes of the video I've gone through.
Yeah.
I haven't scanned it the whole 48 minutes yet, so there's going to be more there.
He's going to go through that, see what he can find for us.
Well, I
And
mean, when
we're-
she picks up the tracking gun, I
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
even gotten
there's
to
just
that
so
point
much
yet,
more to
and
see,
it
yeah.
shows the stats, so
Well, there really was just so
You're-
much going on
yeah.
in that demonstration.
that was the
that,
coolest gun I've ever seen.
That's,
That was the coolest
That's the
weapon
coolest
in a
thing
game
I
I've
have
ever
ever
seen.
She was
I
sitting
had-
behind cover, and because this person happened to be inside the field of scope, it was still hitting them.
I had never seen anything like that before.
No.
So-
And then they don't even warn you when they start ricocheting bullets off the wall.
No,
They're
they
like,
just
"Oh,
said,
here's a high-level character," and then
here's
the
some
next
skills that
second,
you can
he's
do later on.
ricocheting bullets off the wall into the
Yeah.
face.
With that, I wonder if that's a mod or if that's like a skill. And on top of that, or probably just an upgrade to her pistol, really.
Do you think it's the weapon that does that
It
or
might
the
be
person?
weapon. I guess we'll find out.
We will. And the release date for that
Is unknown.
is unknown, unfortunately.
2017. It already came out.
I actually do think
2019,
I do think that's a 2019 game.
So do I.
The more I watch it, the
I've
more
already said it's going to beat Anthem.
the more
for
it
Game
looks
of the Year
like
next
it's this gen.
That'll be everything for Game of the Year when it releases.
Yes.
There is no doubt in my mind.
It's definitely looking like a this gen game. That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing
it
at
looks
all.
like the high
It's
end of
great.
the graphics.
This is
If this is the death gasp of our generation here, I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah, this is a great way to end a console life with.
It's honestly terrible because then when the new console comes out, I'll just be replaying this for the 108th time. So
yeah,
it's a shame.
Do you think they've ported
Backwards
over?
compatible.
Yes, 100%. As soon as possible. They probably
Backwards
release it.
compatibility is a difficult subject for me because I don't know of its existence because I play on a Sony product, which they don't believe in backwards compatibility.
That's rough.
So
maybe if you bought a console from a company that cared about you at all.
Like Xbox All Access.
yeah, that's a really cool thing. But
I know, we're all
and we did mention Xbox All Access last episode, and it is time framed. It is running until the end of December this year. So if you are interested in Xbox All Access, you should go to your nearest Microsoft store and do the further details that you need to do there.
Get it, guys.
Before we close the show, I did want to mention something from Xbox that was related to this. This is Game Pass. It's currently in beta form right now. It's a Game Pass app that you can get on Android and iPhone. And you're going to be able to do things like go on the app, control what games that you are downloading or wanting to put in a certain category or whatever,
That's
find
awesome.
them, get them. And so that's in beta form right now. You can download that. So if you are a Game Pass person, you might as well get that because
Everyone at this table,
it's just going
for
to
example.
get better as it goes along.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's currently in beta form. And there's a whole article over at Xbox Wire that details it. So go check that out as well and then enjoy that. But that is all the time we have for this week. I would like to thank you all for listening and thank you guys for being on the panel today. It was a great show.
It was.
Don't forget, you can
Always
find
is.
us over at tsgg.online, Twitter, and on YouTube at youtube.com/The Society. Patreon.com/TSGG is where you can help us continue to make better content for you. Check out our levels and subscribe if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. You only have to wait a handful of days more, and you can find us on all the podcast services out there for free. Have a great week, everybody.
See you all next time.
See ya.